Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to, I guess we're not going to really number our episodes, but another episode of the Jiu Jitsu Lifting Life podcast. I am your host, Daniel Cartagena. You can find my Instagram at Mr. Fantastic 10P. Well, Mr. Fantastic GNS 10P. And if you go in my bio, I always have a link to the newest episode put on YouTube. We already have 2 episodes uploaded right now. Of course, if you go on our YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you like our content, and that would be greatly appreciated. Today, straight off the plane from Mexico. Well, not off the plane. You know, he's been here for a couple of days. We got Ryan back in the building.
What's up?
Woo! Hey guys, let's give a round of applause to Ryan. This man just got married.
Oh man, it's over.
Yep.
Ryan, if you want to give your Instagram name,
Sure,
any plugs for anything?
I'll take another 1 follower too. Give me like 10 followers.
Hell yeah.
Name's Ryan Bartlett. You can find me on Instagram at rpbartlett14. If that's wrong, I'll wait till the next podcast and I'll put out the right one. So, yeah.
Alrighty, and then to his right, which you can't see because we still don't have any visual, we have Tran Nguyen.
It's me, Tran. I'm back. And I think you guys can hear my voice more.
Yeah. You hear him smacking shit. He can't help himself. I'm gonna get him.
We're giving him cues to stop.
Fuck.
Hey, let's get him a what's it called? A fidget spinner.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yes,
now we're cooking.
Alrighty, so like we just said, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Newly married, huh?
Newly married. Yes,
does that
sir.
mean we have to, or you have to provide permission slips now? Is that?
I know. Hey,
I don't know the married life, so.
Well, you know, actually, my girl just texted me before this and saying good luck to everyone. So she's saying,
Ooh.
yeah, she loves it. She listens to the podcast. But yeah, I just
awesome, man.
went to Mexico. I went to El Dorado Royale for 10 days. I was pretty drunk most of them. Yeah, but it was great, man. Freaking gained 10 pounds. Hopefully I'll lose it this week. But yeah, it was great, man. We did get stuck in a hurricane one of the days, but the next day was our wedding, and it was freaking beautiful. Sun was out. Freaking everything was great. It was perfect. But good times, man.
Yeah, look at your default picture on Instagram. You guys look so beautiful.
I know, all right?
So beautiful.
Don't worry, people out there.
Sorry, ladies.
I didn't cry. I didn't cry at all. When I saw her, when I turned around for the first time, I definitely didn't cry at all.
Oh yeah.
So, but no, it was great,
I
man.
don't think you guys didn't see the eye roll he just did. he deaf cried.
So this is for a few seconds, but it was
teary
good,
drop.
man. Like I said, we were getting we're getting married, and the person who was supposed to marry us, the guy, he ended up getting into a car accident before, so we were running late, so that was a great start. The guys ended up being fine. I guess it was a fender bender, but it took a while to get all the paperwork and everything straight. And so we had a fill-in lady, and she had a pretty thick accent, so I had a hard time trying to understand what she was saying. Very nice lady. The stuff that she did a great job. But towards the end, she walks up to me, and I had a few drinks before the wedding. I was a little nervous. I know Kate did too. And
you have to, right?
No, you have to. Well, they put us in a room with they literally put us in a room with whiskey, tequila, and vodka.
Yeah, take the edge off.
Yeah, so it's like they're like, hey, get drunk before your wedding, so you know. So we're sitting there, and like the lady walks up, and like I'm focusing on Kate. I can't take my eyes off her. I'm trying to pay attention to what this lady's saying to me, and all of a sudden she walks up, and I swear she's like, drinks. I'm like, maybe this is like a Mexican tradition for a wedding. Like, yo, you take a drink, a shot of tequila. Yeah, right. So I'm like I want to be like, hell yeah. I look over, and my sister's tapping me in the back, and she's like, Ryan, rings. So the lady was saying rings, but it sounded like she was saying drinks. Like,
Rings?
Here we go. Taking their fucking ring. My bad.
That's awesome.
But was on your mind.
Yeah, right. But no, it was good. Then after that, we went over to the it was actually pretty cool. I felt like I was a celebrity. We didn't do like a normal like reception. We didn't have like a dance floor and any of that kind of stuff because there was only like 17 of us, and we ended up going to one of the restaurants. I think we're gonna have like a small back room, like a little party room. Dude, they shut down the whole restaurant for us.
No kidding.
I was like, yo, some people come to the door. Like,
you want to give a shout out to that restaurant that did that?
Well, it was so we went to the El Dorado Royale in Casitas, and the restaurant that was there was Cocatel. It was one of their many restaurants, and I don't go away that much, so I was loving it. But yeah, so we're sitting there, and like you can see like people trying to come in, they go eat, and the staff was like kicking them out, like no, it's closed down for a special occasion. I'm like, yo, this is what celebrities do, man. But no, it was cool.
Ryan's a celebrity in Mexico.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's sick.
But so we had so then after that we went to a bonfire on the beach. So it was cool. So they went to a private part of the island or part of the resort. Had the beach set, the nice bonfire, had chairs all around. They had a fully stocked bar on the beach for us.
Wow.
They had like a fancy like s'more thing set up, and of course I was the first. I walked right up and just devoured some s'more. I had like marshmallow all over my face and stuff like that. Like, Ryan, do you want to have your first dance with Kate? I'm like, yeah. Let me get this marshmallow on my face first. But after that, I think we just got drunk. So it was pretty good.
The rest was history.
Oh, the rest was history, man. Yes, sir.
That sounds beautiful. Shout out to that restaurant for doing that to you guys.
I mean, the whole
amazing.
place, man. The wedding planner was freaking awesome. Miss Rosie, she was great. She did a great freaking job. Hoping that we probably want to go back down there again, man. Anyone who, like, you got those people naysayers like, oh, I can't travel to Mexico. It's dangerous, dude. Go to Mexico. Just stay away from the north part of Mexico is what I learned. Where I was, stayed at the resorts and the resort type areas. We went off the resort twice. Did ATV, speedboats. Went to another place. I can't remember the actual like the Spanish name, but like went to like the caves and stuff like that.
Nice.
Awesome. Met some awesome people out there, man. Like it was awesome. I would 100%. I'd go back tomorrow if I could.
Hell yeah.
I love this guy because he's like, before leading up to this, he's just in a practice like, oh yeah, I'm going to a destination wedding. Oh yeah, I'm going to a destination wedding. And then the day before, he's like, oh yeah, it's my wedding.
He drops the bomb on us.
Yes.
And I don't know how many people I told in practice. They're like, yo, where's Ryan? I'm like, oh, he's at his wedding. They're like, that's his wedding? He just told me he was going to a wedding.
Destination wedding.
Like,
Right,
so
he
like
worked full-time job training and probably planning. That must have been crazy.
He played it off good.
Yeah. Well, so like it was actually kind of funny because like the wedding planner like was just like, I love you guys so much because you guys are so easy because like people are asking us questions like, well, where's the wedding? I don't know, on the beach somewhere. Well, what's it look like? I don't know. You guys mind. So like the day of, they're like, we're in a different room for like all the guys to get ready and have a few drinks. And they're like, so we come out, we're getting pissed. I'm like, yo, they're supposed to pick us up in the shuttle. So I'm getting ready to go storm out. I got my boy Sam. He comes walking. He's like, yo, I got you, man. This is your day. I'll do all the talk. And walk out. And he's like, yo, my man's supposed to get picked up for his wedding. What's up?
Was that your best man?
Well, I didn't have I didn't really. I had my sister. Be my I guess you call it best man, best girl, woman, whatever you want to call it. But like he was just like my main boy. They like the freaking.
You always got to have that one.
Oh, dude, he was ready to go, dude. Up. He's coming in all tough, and he's like, "Yo, man's supposed to get picked up. What's going on?" And the lady's like, "Sir, if you just walk on the other side of the building, the wedding's right over there. You can see it from the window." I'm like, "Oh, well, have a great day, man. Well, appreciate it. We're gonna get married now." But
that happens all the time.
Yeah, so no, it was no complaints here, man. Like I said, they went to a freaking hurricane or third day there, and they had that shit cleaned up. They had food. Some rooms got messed up, but like they had drinks, food, everything ready for us. Whatever we needed, they catered to everybody there. It was awesome, man. Well, awesome. I'm happy to be back. We get back on the mats.
Yeah. Well, also,
we're happy to have you back.
A thing that Ryan doesn't talk about, but you're not to get super personal, but this is an interesting fact about you. You're one of 14.
Yeah, man.
1 of 14.
Yeah, that's a whole podcast of its own, bro.
Papa's getting busy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely getting busy.
So, yeah,
poor mom.
That's why,
I'm guessing she was, partaked in it because,
takes two to tangle, right?
We won't go into the scientific part of that.
Yeah. We don't have to do a deep dive in that, guys. I think everybody that listens to this podcast understands how that happens. But that's one of the reasons why you did a destination wedding, right? So it's
destination wedding. So it's
that shit gets expensive,
right?
Yeah. So like
crazy.
It was actually pretty cheap for us. We were thinking a normal wedding is usually around $40,000-$50,000 for one day.
Wow.
For 6 hours? Well, yeah. For think about it, weddings a 1 day, 6 hour, a 6 hour day, pretty much. You're planning a whole year, a whole salary just for one day. We planned for 10 months for a lady to pretty much plan all of our stuff for us. And we spent maybe like $8,000.
You want to give a shout out to that?
Wow.
What's that lady's name?
That was Laura from Bliss Honeymoon. She did a great job. Thank you very much, Laura. We had a great time. If you're out there in Ohio listening to this,
you never know. Somebody might be listening here. And
you never know.
Bliss
Bliss Honeymoon, though, man.
We'll probably have to put the link on the bio, right?
Yes, sir.
Tran, we're not too text heavy here. Calm down.
I
got a producer. She's hooking it up.
Tran's out here talking about put a link on this, bro.
I barely know what a link is. All right, so let's get too far.
Just Tran, you just gave a shout out to the podcast.
Oh, man.
Definitely didn't make a post. So let's calm down with all these leaks over here.
I'll try.
Listen, I didn't even post anything about my wedding. I posted me and my buddy freaking passed out at one of the days on vacation, and I changed my picture, but that's pretty much it. I'm not a big picture. I'm one of those normal guys who goes on Instagram, looks at a bunch of memes, and that's pretty much it.
Don't worry, guys. I got us covered on the media part.
Yeah, we got. Yeah, so if you pretty much follow Dan. That's the guy you want to follow.
Yeah, I'll be promoting the hell out of us because we got some big things in the work, and we try to get our names out there. Very quickly before we move to Tran, shout out to everybody that gave our first podcast, our first episode a listen. It might not seem a lot to most people, but to us, we're very grateful for everybody that listened,
Thank
liked,
you very much,
subscribed.
everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys. That's awesome.
Greatly appreciated. The support that we've gotten back and the feedback has been an immense help on us and the direction that we're going with this podcast. So to everybody that listened, we heard you, we saw you, and we appreciate all of it. Like nothing goes unnoticed. I don't care if it's 10 views. I don't care if it's 50, 100. Anything is appreciative, especially since our first podcast was 2 hours. So anybody that stuck through that 2 hours and liked our content, we really appreciate it, man. It's a big help, man.
Amen to them. They
appreciate it.
They probably had to turn up their volume in their car or their phones or something.
Yeah, so somebody hit me up.
My apologies, but I'm working on it.
Somebody hit me up and was like, yeah, so for Daniel, I had to turn it up. And then I turned it down, and Tran, I had to turn it up.
It's like a bipolar on the volume.
Tran, what's up with you? How's your week been?
Not too bad. Just kind of, I hurt my wrist the other day, so it's just taking it easy, but it's back now. But then now I'm coughing, so if I do cough, I apologize.
Don't worry, Tran works in the hospital.
We'll yell at him
he's
for it.
Obviously COVID tested all the time and all that. So don't worry, guys. We're in good hands. Okay, we're not coughing all over the mics. We'll clean
Definitely
them.
not.
Yeah.
Just don't choke. I don't want to give CPR mouth to mouth.
No, I'm CPR certified. You're not even supposed to give mouth to mouth. I heard you're supposed to just pump. You're supposed to keep the circulation going.
If everyone could see Daniel's pumping, it was really bad. So please don't. Yeah, if you need CPR, don't. It was pretty bad. It was like a dance move he was just doing.
Have you seen these fucking cannons I have on my arms? They're not guns, they're cannons. All right, I gotta take.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I
have a bad wrist, motherfucker.
That was still a dance move he just did. So no CPR from any one of us here.
Tren, you're hopping on the supplement train, huh?
Yeah, I realized, as you train and you get older, and sometimes I forget when I do train that I forget how old I am. So if you guys don't know, I just turned 40 this summer.
Woohoo!
Yeah, big 4-0. Yeah.
When's your birthday?
July
when?
19.
My brother's Nick.
Nick is the 19.
He's the lucky one. Yeah. 19. Yep. 81. Nice. So so I was training. I forget that I actually roll with these 20-year-olds and they're super young and they can go at it. So as you get older, you kind of realize that, oh man, I'm getting injured, and the more I trained, and the more I have to take care of my body. So so I just hopped on the I don't know what the hell to buy, so I just went to Costco. Just figured they have a big amount of capsules to take, and so I went on the glucosamine, and then vitamin C, and then just fish oil. So we'll start that off, and it was like $50, and I just walked out of Costco as if I was like on diabetes or something like that, and everyone looked at me like, "What is going on with this guy?" But that's what you got to do,
Saying the people who are walking out with like 4 3-liter sodas.
Yeah, well, I go there just to buy liquid IV and beef jerky sometimes, man.
Yeah, Costco's the shit.
I gotta hop on that liquid IV. I don't have a Costco membership, but I'm like,
I'll hook you up. Yeah, it's like the cheapest place around. Those things are great, especially for training. If you don't want to bring like a big water jug, like one small bottle, it's like I think it's like 4.
What's it called? Liquid
IV. So it's like a little powder, and like comes in a little pouch, and it's got pretty good. It's like passion fruit or something. All of them are pretty good. You just dump it in your water, you shake it up, and it's actually it's good. It's filled with electrolytes, and I heard if you have a hangover, they're pretty good. My friend told me about that.
Yeah, we don't drink on this podcast.
Yeah, we don't drink. Yeah, so,
but we do sweat a lot in training.
Yes, yes, we do. Yeah, that's exactly.
Bro, I'd be sure,
especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
I sweat at an average like 8 pounds up.
I do believe it.
You need more than just water when you're up there rolling. When there was like no AC, it was like over 100 up there. Yeah, so bringing gate like that one day, I remember I was freaking almost passed out up there doing legs with this, Daniel over here, and then going and training, and then when I stood up, I literally got leg cramps and had to stand on the mat for 5 minutes because I couldn't move.
I don't really cramp.
Oh, I cramped that day because I wasn't drinking enough water. I went and had to go. I picked up a can of actually just Coca-Cola and just pounded that. Yeah, I needed the sugar and stuff. So
I think like Tran, we've been training for so long. Well, I haven't been training for so long, but we've been on the mats. I don't want to. I'm not saying like this is totally bro science. So like, don't listen to me. But I feel like when it comes to sweating, my body's acclimated to all that stuff because I'm so used to like doing a 2-hour practice, no water, no cramping, no nothing, weighing myself like, damn, 8 pounds, nothing. But that's just the lifestyle. Like, what you should really be doing, and everyone says it. And I forget, I was talking to Bill about it this Wednesday. If you're trying to hydrate during practice, you're doing it wrong. You have to, that you're never really going to fully hydrate yourself. You're just going to be sweating and all that stuff. You need a water, especially guys, hey, if you're cutting weight, which is cutting weight's horrible, 1, look into that liquid IV. 2, for new competitors, and trust me, this is from guys we've obviously both probably cut weight horribly, right?
Yeah.
You need a water load. I know it sounds counterintuitive because you want to get your water weight as low as possible, but when you water load and you put that 10, 15 pounds, I don't know how high you can really go of water into you, it makes sweating so much easier. So when you start sweating, you overflow, or your pores, you just open up more and you sweat easier. As opposed to if you're not cutting weight, I mean, if you're not hydrated, it's very hard to sweat. So a lot of people they think that they don't drink water is gonna make them, they're gonna sweat, they're gonna lose more water weight as opposed to drinking a whole bunch of water. You're like, but you drink a whole bunch of water. You're supposed to drink a gallon or 2 a day, and on the day of your weight cut or the day before your weight cut, you switch to mineral water because it has no minerals or salt or anything to hold the water in. So when you start sweating, it strips your whole body.
Dude, that makes so much sense. Yeah.
So wait, mineral water has no minerals?
No, that's not mineral water. Oh, what's that one with water? It's not mineral water. I forget what it's called, but it has nothing in it. It's just strict.
Oh, okay.
It's just water with no minerals, no nothing in it. And when you drink that, so you're not supposed to drink distilled water.
Oh, okay.
So you're not supposed to drink distilled water every day. So when you're cutting weight, on the day of your weight cut, maybe the day before, you drink a whole bunch of distilled water.
Oh, okay.
So when you flush your system and you strip everything out, there's no sugar, there's no sodium, there's no minerals that keep the water into you. Also, guys, if you ever wondered why guys who have a lot of muscle can cut more water weight, it's because muscle holds water easier than fat. So the more muscle you have, the easier it is to actually sweat. So that's why guys do 20-pound weight cuts.
That's why I sweat so much, I'm guessing.
He's fucking.
Yeah, that makes sense, man.
I didn't even think about dropping this knowledge, but this is a good way to segue into the second part of this, our opening bio, the feedback that we've gotten back from people. And one of the things I got back from people is, wow, you guys sound so good, so entertaining, and you guys are dropping gems.
They're not talking about me. I know that.
No, Trent, stop it, cut it out. But
I'm working on it, guys.
But I didn't really understand what you're talking about, which is a thing. I sometimes forget that me and Tran are so deep in the cut, and we're in the trenches all the time, that certain lingo that we use or things we just casually talk about, somebody might not understand that.
Me.
Yeah. So it's we got a lot of feedback on that. So I'm gonna do a new segment. We're gonna do a couple segments. We're always gonna build it up, but one of the segments I'm gonna do once a week or once an episode with all of us is we're going to drop a little knowledge on a certain topic as pertains to our lifestyle, our training, lifting, all that. So what I mean by that is one episode might be Ryan just talking about the difference between sumo and conventional deadlift. Sumo, yeah. Or conventional deadlift. Or is it called conventional deadlift? Yeah. Some people are like, whoa. So like if we're having a conversation, we might be like, hey, so we did conventional. We went up to our top set, our technical top, and then we finished with sumo for accessory work. So that's common language to us, right? But somebody that doesn't do deadlifts are like, what the hell is a sumo deadlift? What is the difference? So we're gonna take maybe 5 minutes every episode to take a specific topic and just break it down to the bare minimum.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So this week, as we were prepping this episode, we were talking about so much I forgot to tell you. But this week's episode of doing that, we're going to talk about the 3 different styles of wrestling. There's more different styles of wrestling, but we're just going to talk very quickly, simple, about the 3 different styles of wrestling and just break it down really quick. And if you guys have any feedback or want to say anything about it, feel free. But we're going to be doing that once a week. That way, we can educate people that are listening to this podcast and are becoming new fans, or they're new to the game, or they're new to jiu-jitsu, they're lifting, or they have an interest. But how many times, Ryan, we go to the gym and we don't know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what a top set, a top pause, a triple. Simple vernacular that's we understand, but it'd be a good way to break it down because we got a lot of good feedback, and I appreciate all the feedback, and that was one of them that I personally love everybody that's commenting, reaching out. If you have more feedback, feel free to let us know. Our DMs are always open, and we're open to suggestions about everything when it comes to this podcast because we are growing just like you guys, and it takes all of us to be a part of it, right?
Yeah, for sure, man.
That's going to be one of our segments. Look out for it. Ryan, any feedback you want to talk about? Anybody that's giving you stuff like that?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty cool. I have most people that I've told about the podcast don't know anything about jiu-jitsu. My wife being one of them. Seems weird saying that, but my one buddy Sam, who's actually went to my wedding, the one I was just talking about, got my back on my wedding day. He actually called me up today after listening to the podcast, and he was so interested that we talked for about almost a half an hour, 40 minutes, because he wants to sign up. So we went over, how should it go, this, that, and the other, where he should be, what he should be looking towards to be doing and stuff like that. So, it just seems like all the new people out there who have never listened to it, they actually loved it because it kind of got them motivated or they interested and they want to hear more of the beginning lifestyle, kind of how it works. But, which I give my piece, but then they also like from hearing from you guys who have so much more knowledge. And it was cool. So if I had questions on that first podcast and you guys answered it, they loved hearing that. So that's one thing that it seems like people want to hear more of is, okay, so you guys are so well versed in it. What was your beginning like? Especially Tran. Like, I know we kind of get all your backstory in, like Tran, like how did it go with your first night? People want to hear that kind of stuff. So it seemed like all positive, but they love the new people. It seems like we're going to get a well-versed group coming through this.
And
I like that.
And guys, do not worry. We're going to do a specific episode. A special episode on Tran, dropping just his backstory, his bio, and stuff like that. So we're not going to really cover our bios in this episode, but be on the lookout because we're going to be dropping an hour podcast on just Tran and his everything on his getting into it, how much different jiu-jitsu was 05, everything that he's seen, all the savages he's trained with, all that. So we're definitely going to get into that.
Yeah, so stay tuned, guys.
Any other feedback, Tran? Did you hear anything besides the fact that you?
Oh man, yeah. So my feedback was totally opposite. I got feedback telling me that, oh my God, I never heard you talk so much, or I never heard you even talk at all. So here I am on this podcast, just shooting the shit. But other than that, I got a lot of feedback saying it was an awesome podcast, very educational. Especially people that have never done jiu-jitsu, have heard about it, but just never knew how to get into it. Me included, I've had that experience of just sitting in a parking lot, debating whether I should go in or not. You hear about jiu-jitsu, about breaking arms, choking people in this padded room, and you're like, I don't know if that's for me or not. So I'm just going to turn around, go home. So it takes a big person to just step in, sign up, and then walk onto that mat, knowing that they're basically going to get their ass kicked the first few months or 6 months or however long. But I guarantee you guys, it's going to be the best thing you ever done for yourself.
Absolutely. Because I know I experienced that sitting out in the parking lot for a long time waiting. I actually had to call my girl, like, yo, I don't want to do this. She said, get your ass in there. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Not me, guys. I was stupid and young. And I was like, I'm going to show these motherfuckers what's up. I'm sorry. I was like, yeah, wait till I get to jiu-jitsu, bro. I wrestled a little bit. I used to fuck around with my friends. I was 22, 23. Like, I'm going to show these motherfuckers what an armbar looks like. And then I got my ass beat by a 16-year-old. And I used to tell him, hey, you got to tell me the submission you're going to do before you do it. That motherfucker never would. Jiu-jitsu will humble you like that, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, man. It still humbles me to this day, and I've been doing it for so long, But yeah, I appreciate everybody for the feedback. Thank you so much. I will do my best to talk as loud as I can and as clear as I can and as much as I can, too. So.
Hey, this is day one, man. This is day one. We've never did a podcast before. As some people are saying, oh, wow, Daniel, that was your first time ever recording a podcast or first 2 episodes. Bro, I talk. I'm a talker. Like,
I just talk a lot.
Yeah, I just talk. and I'm prepared. So like, but for people like Tran, man, who has an amazing story and he's so soft spoken.
Yeah, I'm just quiet. Like if you ever met me in person, I'm pretty quiet and pretty chill. Like unless you directly talk to me, then I'll start talking and maybe I'll speak up a little louder. But in general, I'm pretty just chill mode and kind of relax. And then I don't really talk too much, even though I have like so much background history. But if you put me on the spot like this, it's a whole new thing for me. So it's pretty cool to actually just share my experiences to the listeners and whoever's listening out there.
Well, with that one class, that Wednesday class you taught, the morning class, they said, that was the first time I ever seen you actually talk. I love that move. Like I literally right after that class was over, I went and told my brother, I'm like, yo, dude, I got to show you what Tran taught me, man. It was so awesome. But
which move was this?
The
reverse triangle.
The card?
Yeah.
Oh, the reverse triangle.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Loved it.
For you guys that don't know, I teach Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Before 9 a.m., we do a little lift sesh with Ryan at 8 a.m., but I teach at 9 a.m. But when somebody comes in, so I teach 3 days at 10 Planet, and when somebody like Tran or Randy comes in, I always put them on the spot. I see them, and I'm like, honestly, man, I'm still a student, and I love being a student. So when Tran, who I consider like one of my top tier coaches, comes in, I'm like, yo, bro, you're teaching today. He's like, what?
I'm like, what? Fuck.
Much as I like,
make up some bullshit now.
As much as and guys, trust me, to teach on the spot, it's really hard. I don't like those coaches that just bullshit their classes. So I know it's tough for them, but I'm a fan of these guys, and I look up to them, and I get tired of hearing myself talk and teach. So when these guys drop in, I just be like, yo, man, drop some shit. Like,
yeah, it's not a bad thing too. You get different looks, different perspectives of things, and maybe some things I teach and maybe some things you teach a little better and vice versa. And it helps for your students too to excel from that.
Yeah, it shows you your knowledge too. It's like you put on a spot and you put on an awesome class. I think pretty much everyone who was there was just like, holy shit, that was a great class.
So
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
anybody so if you ever see Tran come into my class, just know on site he's teaching. Like it's just he's on for it. I just need he is teaching, and for anybody that's any of my buddies who are top level and I really respect, and you come in, just know I might put you on the spot unless we're really working something and we've been really working it. Your ass is going on. You getting under the spotlight. So before we switch topics, the last thing I want to talk about feedback was Ryan. We were talking about you and being a cop and how jiu-jitsu has helped you on the force and stuff like that. And I got a lot of feedback about that. And that's, guys, trust me, that's going to be another episode where we really deep dive, like go deep and talk. Like we have some stuff in the works. Be patient, guys. We got a lot of things in the works, man. Where I'm really excited about the growth of this podcast. I know it's only been 2 episodes, but we got some stuff coming up.
It's going to be fire.
But speaking of that, this hits me kind of close to home because it was my own mom that talked to me about it. And my mom was like, hey, man, she's like, I love listening to your friend, Ryan. And she's like, I love listening to him talk about how jiu-jitsu has helped him and how he feels and being a cop and his thought process, especially when you're talking about, Marines are trained to kill, or not trained to kill, but
they are.
Okay,
but the thing is, that's what it's military. You're asking what they are. They're not going to sit there and like, they're not trained to be like, okay, we're just going to subdue someone. That's their job. They're in war.
Yeah. And then you hear Ryan's thought process of when he's on the force and when he's on duty, and my mom loved it. My mom loved it.
I'm glad.
My mom listened to the whole 2-hour podcast.
And mama knows best, man.
Yeah, mama knows best. So we're definitely gonna get into the nitty gritty of that, Ryan, because it's what's everything that's going on, all the movements and stuff like that. I'm not hopping on the train, but I want people to know that we have good guys like you, that you're going out there and you're training, and how much it's gonna help you. And hopefully we get to use you as a launching point into getting other cops in here and getting them trained.
Yeah.
So important.
It's everything, man. It really is. And we don't just train. I train for sport because I love it and I want to be a lifelong martial artist, and my focus is competition. But then we have guys like you that's your career. This helps your career out. And today on YouTube, Henner Gracie, was it Henner? He dropped a video of a cop trying to subdue a suspect, and the suspect was fighting crazy, and a guy, probably $150, $160 came and helped him subdue him. And the level of comfortability that man had, and probably never ever being in that situation. I can't speak, I can't really speak for him, but like You've seen it, Ryan. I don't, not to put you on the spot. I know we didn't talk about this, but from watching the video, I can't do it justice. I've never arrested somebody. From when you watched that video, what did you think?
So, I mean, I didn't read the background of it. I just kind of watched the video because I saw you post it. And it's tough. Like, people don't realize, like, oh, well, why is this cop punching someone? It's like, listen, no offense. Like, do you understand how hard it is for someone who doesn't want to be arrested? They're not just fighting. Like, I talked about this the first podcast. Like, UFC fighters are awesome. They're badass dudes. But there's rules. There's limits. They know that they're not going to. They know that there's going to be an end of the bell's going to ring. They're going to go the separate ways. They're not going to have someone constantly fighting them or possibly trying to shoot him, trying to kill him.
Not to interrupt, but they have an authoritarian figure in there. That's the ref.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. And but going back to this video, you see it looks like a cop has the suspect's on the ground, and the cops, it looks like he might be trying to strike him in the face. I have no idea what happened beforehand. But then you see this guy coming over, a civilian walk over, and he subdues the legs. And that's the thing. Like, a cop's focusing so much tunnel vision. I get it too. When you're in the moment, tunnel vision, you're focusing on one spot. I'm going to keep throwing punches. Your heart's racing. You're thinking, hey, this guy's kicking. You know, he might get out of it. And this guy comes over and just holds his legs down. That's huge.
Absolutely.
I guarantee that cop's probably, I guarantee his comfort kind of dropped. He got a little more comfortable. Like, I got that breath. I didn't see if he actually ended up handcuffing him. But at least that civilian coming over to help them, to maybe wait for backup to show up, it goes a long way. And just like I said, I know there's bad cops out there, but there's a lot of good people. Well, that's why I talk to a lot of the guys at my work, and guys and girls at my work, saying, look into jiu-jitsu. You can buy expensive things, you can go on vacations, take some of that money and put it towards something that's going to benefit you. Hopefully you never have to use it, but that one day you do have to use it, then at least you're well trained.
Yeah,
and that's what
absolutely.
that's the way I think every single day.
What's that video? Is that on Instagram?
Henner Gracie posted it. So
Henner Gracie, guys, if you guys are listening.
Henner
video.
Gracie, yeah. So I watched the whole video. I don't know how far you got into it, but the cop, big, strong guy. And you could just tell, man, when people work, like, first time white belts hop in, man, like, again, I can't speak for cops, but I can speak for guys that I've trained with who have been in law enforcement, stuff like that. Big, strong guys think muscle, right? Oh, I'm going to be strong. I'm going to overpower you. Sometimes that doesn't work. Muscle fatigue, lactic acid, all that stuff, right? Technique trumps all. And this guy, first thing he does is subdue the legs. Now, when I wrestled, right, little funny backstory in a non-funny situation, this kid was wrestling this other kid. And they're in wrestling, right? You don't just get your varsity spot. You got to earn your varsity spot. So it's not your coach saying, hey, I think you're better than him. It's like, oh, you think you guys are the same weight? You guys got to wrestle each other. Whoever wins gets varsity. Yeah. Which is like the best. That's why I still have that thought process and things.
Like a wrestle off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This kid was wrestling this other kid, and he was going for his legs. I didn't know what I was watching at the time, but I've always had a fucking mouth. I was like, hey, let go of the legs, go to the upper body. Which he did, because he's a freshman, and I was a first-timer. And he went to the upper body. And my coach looked at me and was like, yo, what the fuck? And listen, guys, wrestling coaches are tough. They're just tough. And I think he was a prison guard. He was a prison guard as well. And he was like, you don't know what the fuck you just said. He was doing great. You just gave him bad advice. Kid still ended up winning. Mm-hmm. But you understand that when you're attacking somebody or trying to subdue them or keep them on the ground, the first thing you should take away, not first, that the spine is good. Going for the spinal alignment's good. But if you're going for your legs, that's good. Because when you're on your side, you're less explosive. You take away your movement and athleticism. Then you go to your knees, then you go to your feet. You keep one leg off the ground, it makes it harder for them to use any of their athleticism, movement, explosion. This guy went and wrapped the legs really quick. Yeah. Then when the officer was having trouble trying to put the handcuffs, he, who was a smaller guy than the officer, knew how to control the arm and where to bend to get the guy to subdue and to turn so he could put the handcuffs. And at the very end of the video, this is the most telling thing, okay? I don't know what this MMA guy, I don't know what this jiu-jitsu guy does, but he was so calm. I don't know what belt he was. I don't know anything. The officer was doing that technique where the guy was the handcuffs and he was kneeling on his shoulder blades. Yep. And the 10th Planet, not the 10th Planet, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at a 10th Planet's logo. The jiu-jitsu guy was like, hey, his legs he's subdued. I have his legs. He's on his back. Get off his neck. He's fine. He's not getting up.
Hold on. So it was, I didn't see the video.
I know, but that's why I'm just explaining it to you. I'm not giving, like I said, I'm not giving any other content I'm not giving no opinion. I'm just telling you what happened at the end. The cop was all fine. The cop was kneeling like kind of like a knee on belly, and the guy was like, "Hey, he's subdued. Okay, I have his leg. Okay. He's not getting up. You can get off his neck." Me, this is why this is perfect. Me being a regular guy is like, that's great control, and I think the jiu-jitsu guy had like knee on belly on him too, or he had a position where
I gotta watch the whole video too, because like I said, if the guy, I mean, I wasn't there, so like, because the thing is too, like when we do like a prone takedown for handcuffing, we have, so like right on the, I'm pointing to, like you guys gonna be able to see, but you two can see Tran and Daniel, like right by your shoulder blades, there's like a little pocket, and it's away from the spine, but you put all your weight there. So if you stand straight up and just have your knee, you're pretty much whatever you weigh, you're putting all that weight into your knee, into that person's shoulder blade, which pins them down, so you can keep that arm up, so you can get ready to handcuff them.
But at that point he was already handcuffed. Okay, he was already handcuffed on his side. Yeah.
But then, okay. So in that case, like I said, then like I said, I'm not going to money quarterback like that officer.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But the thing is too is like for wrestling, you're talking about going for the legs. A lot of cops are prone to go for upper body because what are you going to do? Your hands.
Well, I'm not going to grab your legs and let you punch me in the face. Yeah.
Or go for a weapon and go for my weapons, whatever.
Or they can have a knife or like a gun or something.
It's great to be trained, especially jiu-jitsu, that kind of stuff. But it's going to pay off, but
it's just
for sure.
You see all you guys. This is why it's great to have everybody on here, because I don't know how to arrest somebody. I don't even know really how to control somebody without strikes. Like if we're just being real, I wrestled, I did jiu-jitsu, but I don't do it with strikes. Mm-hmm. And even if I did, it's not in the same content of what it is. So that's why sometimes they're like, "Oh, you should have like a jiu-jitsu guy teach cops." Well, it's kind of hard, because if I never have been put in that situation, I can tell you what to do. But I'm more of a guy like, this is why I like to compete. I like to compete because I want to coach competitors. Mm-hmm. That's when I want to move full time too. And I don't want to be that one of those guys that telling you to do something that I never did and I have no experience. If I compete, you can be, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of coaches that do that and they're great coaches. But personally, me, I want to be one of those guys that's like, hey, I got there. Hey, I know how that loss felt. Hey, I know how that weight cut felt. Mm. So it's the same thing with like law enforcement. And one day, we're not going to get to, because I said, guys, this is going to be this will be a whole episode. It's going to be a whole episode. We're going to be super prepared for it. But one day, with Ryan and all these guys, it'd be a great thing to see programs, camps, all that for law enforcement.
And that's the thing too. I'm not going to dive into it either, because that's a whole different topic, like you were just saying. But like the big thing too is like I just wanted to be a DT instructor. I guess got certified in that.
What does DT stand for?
Defensive tactics. My bad.
It's okay.
So defensive tactics instructor. So I'm certified to teach our office, the officers at my department, and if there's ever an academy that needs help, I can go and teach recruits and defensive tactics. Our defensive tactics is basic, because the thing is, these are the moves that are they're known to work. Jiu-jitsu, it's great, but the thing is, like, there's some stuff that we learn here I can't do. I cannot. Oh, yeah.
It's so like sport.
But the one thing, open guard or something like that, sitting down on your ass.
Yeah, shooting a double leg
or chokes. Yeah. We cannot do any type of choke at all.
Dude, that's so true.
The one thing I will say about this though is confidence. I've always been pretty confident, but my confidence, and that's what officers need to do, is get their confidence up when it comes into your being. Like, look at the awkward position that we're in. So if you have to be, hopefully you're never close in with somebody. But like, it builds your confidence so much, and I feel so much more comfortable on the streets knowing if I ever was in a life or death situation and I couldn't get to one of my weapons, and I have no backup, I'm gonna at least know how to control that person, and I hopefully will be calm in that situation.
That's for, right?
And that's the big thing. I would say the confidence and the comfortability of being in the uncomfortable positions. That's what jiu-jitsu has helped so much.
Yeah.
Within the small amount of time I've been here. So. But yeah, absolutely. Like that, when we ever talk about that, which hopefully will be like a whole hour, whatever it's going to be, definitely.
Dude, that might be an hour and a half.
Yeah,
definitely dive into all that kind of stuff.
That's a serious subject, and we'll definitely have people like Ryan that train cops, law enforcement, come on and really give their feedback. And I won't even have any input. I'll just listen. This is
sit back and listen.
Look, I have my input with you guys too, and you guys, your knowledge is way more than mine. It's always good to have that outside.
Yeah, but what today's social media and stuff like that, and I'm not getting into the right or wrong. Everyone has their opinions. I love everybody. Everyone has who they are because of what they've been through and all that stuff. No judgment, okay? But it's great hearing my mom listen to this. And I'm not saying my mom has anything against cops or nothing, but just listen to Ryan talk and just being like, hey, I can listen to a whole thing of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that, Daniel, that's great information to get out there. And she's like, you sounded so good too, talking to him about it. And she's like, I just loved it. So, like I said, guys, we're listening. We're listening to what everybody says, and we're open-minded. So,
and about Ryan's confidence, it shows definitely on the mat. Even when I roll with him when he first started jiu-jitsu, he was using more strength, and now he's using more angles. He's using more technique. And
he's trying to judo throw me.
You gotta try to change it up, man.
Yeah, I got to mix it up a little bit.
A little bit.
Know? Just in case that one guy just, you got to toss.
One time might come in.
But Ryan, yeah, on the mat, I've rolled with him. He seems way more comfortable, His confidence is up.
He's a DT instructor, and he's honestly one of our pioneers now in this. And what better guy? What better guy, man?
Perfect.
I'm glad to have you on, Ryan. I'm glad to have you on this podcast. Like I said, guys, we've only known Ryan for like 5-6 months.
Yeah.
But when it's love, when it's love is love. And I fall quick. So not to change subject, but we're gonna go on to the next segment, because we could talk about this all day. And, as much as a 2-hour podcast is fun and it's easy for us to do, we're definitely going to try to stick to a time frame. We got a producer now, so, she's in our ear like, hey, keep it on a time frame. And it makes sense. I get the logistics of it, but we can go.
Yeah.
So I got a little segment, like I was saying earlier. This is probably going to take just a few minutes. We're just going to talk about the 3 styles of wrestling, especially for Ryan, who was never a wrestler, training at 10 Planet. His wrestling looking good.
Like, wrestling's not just wrestling, right? There's different styles of wrestling.
So we're gonna talk about the 3 styles of wrestling, and this is probably gonna be new to Ryan as well.
Yep.
If you have any questions, guys, Tran, if you have any input, because you actually wrestled longer than me.
Yeah.
But we're gonna start with Greco-Roman wrestling, which is a style of wrestling that's in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Greco-Roman is predominantly, actually, I would say Greco-Roman prohibits holds below the waist. It emphasizes on throws. So the best way I can describe what Greco-Roman wrestling would be is no gi judo. Just no trips, all throws, no single legs. You are not allowed to use single legs to attack as an offensive way to take your opponent down or to defend.
So what is it, from the waist up?
Waist up.
Waist up, guys.
All body clinches, head throws, stuff like that. Sacrifice throws, suplexes, things like that. That's all Greco-Roman. If you want to look into somebody that did MMA, that's a big name that did Greco-Roman, Randy Couture.
So is that a popular thing now though, Greco-Roman?
So the 2 styles of wrestling that are in the Olympics are Greco-Roman and freestyle.
Okay. So those are still like to this day.
But the number 1 would be freestyle.
Okay.
So Greco-Roman's very popular. You do not do Greco-Roman in high school. You do folk style. So Greco-Roman is mostly in the it's in the Olympics, and they probably do the world stage and all that stuff. It's not as popular.
What about college? Is that a college stage you do Greco?
So college you can do. Now Daniel's going to talk about it, but the 2 things are freestyle and folk style.
Okay.
So the next style
in high school.
The next style of wrestling we're going to get into is freestyle, which is what you mostly see. What you see a lot in the Olympics is probably the number one form of wrestling. Sorry, I have some notes right here. So freestyle puts more emphasis on high amplitude throws. They also have a different point scoring system, okay? So certain throws can get you 5 points, depending on the severity of the throw, and if your opponent's back is close to the mat. Like if your opponent's back goes over the mat or like rolls some way, you can get 5 points. There's also 3-point throws, and if you take your opponent down just to their belly, that's 1 point. If you push your opponent out of bounds, you get a point. And also, guys, we're probably not doing I didn't want to get too much into the scoring. So if I miss anything, leave a comment, let me know. I'll clean that right up. But freestyle, you're allowed to lock your opponent's your hands under your opponent. Freestyle on the mat, 1 second. The difference between freestyle and folk style on the mat is the top wrestler attempts to expose the bottom guy's back by breaking a 90-degree angle between the bottom guy's shoulder blades and the mat. Each exposure is 2 points. If you hold him in the position for 5 seconds, you get a bonus point. Top man is allowed to lock his arm around the bottom man's body. Bottom man generally lies at the as flat as possible on his stomach. Just to break that down really quick, if I get you on your stomach and I roll you over and we roll like a gator roll, I get points for that.
Okay.
So my emphasis is to get you to get your back exposed to the mat without really pinning you, and I get more points. If you just lay on your stomach and I can't roll you, the ref will separate us in 10 to 15 seconds.
Usually the guy has his arms spread wide open and their legs wide open, right?
Yeah,
so
nice wide base.
Wide base, so don't get rolled over.
Why? Now you're gonna ask why we bring that up, because the third style of wrestling is folk style, and folk style, since it's predominantly done in high school and college, they don't put the same emphasis on high amplitude throws. In fact, most throws are kind of illegal. And if you don't have a form of control while you're taking your opponent down, you can get DQ'd in the match. So you can't suplex, stuff like that. Every takedown is only 2 points. Now, when you're on the mat in folk style, the emphasis is on control to get a pin, which means that if you're on the mat and you're slaying like that, you can stay there the whole round without the ref picking you back up, because your emphasis is to get up and you get points for getting up. I don't know if I did a really good job of explaining that, but
yeah.
That's just the emphasis on folk style, freestyle. Best way I would describe it is folk style is for kids, so it's a little safer. They kind of nerf down the takedowns and stuff that they can, and the point system is different. Folk style is still freestyle, just stuff taken away. Freestyle is the Olympic version of wrestling, or it's in the Olympics. Okay. So they just put a different emphasis on different things. You're all just doing wrestling, but if I say, hey, you're doing folk style, if I take you down, you stay down, I'm not going to get you back up. You're going to have to try to come, break grips, stand up. If you do freestyle, you can just lay there, and the ref will let you come back up. Also, if I throw you crazy in freestyle, that's cool. If I do in a folk style, not so cool. That's the difference. So, hopefully I did a good job at explaining it. Those are the three styles that you'll be seeing in wrestling.
Like crazy, like you can throw your opponent right over your head.
In freestyle, yeah. Like you get suplex and shit like that. Yeah, man.
So
like
if you guys are listening, you can get tossed.
Yeah, I was watching some videos on that kind of thing. It's some crazy.
So
crazy
people, I would say, hey, Greco-Roman, you can't go attack any legs. Freestyle, there's a different point store, and there's a just different emphasis on what you're allowed to do on the wrestling mat. Folk style is more for high school and collegiate. So you see people wrestling in college, that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Folk style, the whole point is, right, to pin your opponent.
Yep.
Which meaning both shoulder blades are on the mat for, I don't know how many, maybe a second, maybe two. And then
as soon as it's on the mat. Freestyle is more about getting your opponent's back to the mat.
Yep.
Exposing your back to the mat to get more points. So you see less pins. Of course, you still want to pin, but most guys, like we said about the control with the legs, they'll cross your legs up and they'll start rolling. And the more times they roll you, the more points they'll get.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of like a crocodile when they spin.
Yeah, like
if
a
you
gator
can think
roll.
about it, right?
Yeah, so those are the three different styles of wrestling and what you'll hear people say. So if I say we're doing Greco-Roman, we're just doing upper body. I'll never really say do folk style over freestyle. After college, everybody's doing freestyle. Okay. So if you watch the Olympics, you watch guys Kyle Dank, Gable Stevenson, Jordan Boyles. If you see them on the world stage, Olympics, trials, all that, they're doing freestyle. If they're in college or you watch the college matches, that's folk style. If you watch high school wrestling, that's folk style.
Okay. I think it's a pretty good way of explaining it, though. Break it down. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's our segment. We're just going to be dropping little nuggets, stuff like that. Like I said, we're going to be doing it for everything that we're knowledgeable and interested in to help build everybody up to, I guess, what our knowledge base, our understanding of what stuff is.
A little education.
Yeah. I don't want to call it like dropping knowledge because that's what Fighter and the Kid has, but it's a little like a little boop. We'll just be giving you a little segment. We're going to have different segments going forward with this podcast.
Throwing a little bone out there.
All right. So now for our last segment of the podcast, we're going to be talking about something that I am deeply, deeply interested in, and it's going to be a good one. So I don't know, Brian, how much you know about like the competition scene?
So I remember we were talking about, so get kind of look into it. But I was also on my honeymoon, so
yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I kind of gave him homework.
And then I came, I came back I came back Friday, went into a detail Saturday morning, had to work Saturday night, and then today I pretty much napped all day. So yeah,
it's kind of like the college years, right? Hungover. Now you got homework. And you got shit to do.
And I did exactly what I did in college.
And you're sleeping.
I didn't do the homework.
He's got to learn how to use social media to promote the podcast, things like that.
He's learning,
That's a whole other podcast, how to use social media.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not teaching it. Oh, I'm going to have my son teach it. He's 8 years old. He's like, Daddy, are you serious? You don't know how to use links.
Dude, those kids know a lot.
Right?
Alrighty. So we're going to be talking about Enigma.
Enigma.
They're a local promotion. I guess so. So they're a local promotion, but they're getting really good guys to come in to compete for them. There's this kid. I think his name is Christoph Padalopoulos.
Yeah.
He's a 20-year-old kid, man, out of New Hampshire. I believe he's out of New Hampshire, maybe the Boston area. And they're doing these promotions, and they're calling them Enigma. And it's taking over, man.
Enigma Invitational, is that what it's called?
Yeah, man. And they do everything, dude. They do kickboxing. They do combat jiu-jitsu.
Oh, so it's not jiu-jitsu. I thought it was just jiu-jitsu.
No, bro. They're
I
taking...
I didn't know that, too.
Yeah, man. They're taking...
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're taking over the scene.
Nice.
And they're doing a new event in November 19th, and they're dropping all their matches. And I'm so pumped and excited.
Wow.
Because one of my goals in this podcast is to bring up the local jiu-jitsu scene and to talk about competitors and to have them on. Even MMA guys, power lifters, anybody local that is passionate and knows their thing. Come on, slide in the DMs. We'll meet, get some lunch, see if there's if we have chemistry, if we're on the same page, and hop on this podcast and drop some knowledge. Want to talk about yourself. We're super open to all that. And
definitely,
this is a big thing because Enigma, bro, like they're getting for this card, man. This card so far, they've announced 6 or 7 matches, and it's 7 matches, and it's stacked, bro.
Yeah, from top to bottom, right?
They're not done, man. They're not done.
Ooh.
They're not even done announcing matches, man.
That's crazy.
And I want to give them their shout out and really promote and talk about this because it being a local thing, I want them to really succeed and do the best that they can. And they're getting big names, and they got to pay these big names. And I want them to sell out. They do a pay-per-view. They do on demand. You can watch their matches on demand. So this Enigma event is going to take place November 19th at Wimham, New Hampshire. You can purchase tickets online or watch on demand only on Enigma TV. You can find them going on Instagram. Their handle is at Enigma Jiu Jitsu Official. Do you want to start, Tran, bottom to top or top to bottom? I'm thinking bottom to top.
Bottom top, I like that.
Yeah. Ryan, if you have any questions, any input, feel free to ask, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Don't be shy.
I don't want you staying quiet, guys. In my notes, it says Ryan.
This is between you two guys. I'm going to be definitely asking questions, but I'm ready to listen and learn from you guys right now. So,
alrighty. So this is going to be a no gi event. No gi means that they're not wearing the gi. So for anybody that's listening,
no karate.
So hold on. So that's another thing. So my buddy did not know. So that's another thing too. That might seem very basic for us. Gi, no gi. There's a lot of people out there who don't know what that means. So you want to?
What's that?
Yeah. So you want to explain it really quick?
So gi is the traditional, right? It looks like a karate attire, but it's a little more thicker, right? So you get the belt, you get the gi top and bottom, and then no gi is basically you're in a rash guard, kind of like a surfer top, pretty tight fitting, and then shorts with no pockets, and there's no belt. There's pretty much a shirt and shorts, and that's no gi.
And for no gi, I realized on my own that there's colors to it. As I learned, I bought a black one, and I did not realize that meant black belt, so I don't wear it anymore.
Your secret black
so
belt.
when you roll in the gi, you always wear your belt. So whatever rank you are, you always have it on you. When you roll no gi, you don't have to wear colors that match your belt.
No.
But there are rash guards and spats and all that are made for your belt. So right now, the colors that I wear will be purple because I'm a purple belt. If I wore a gi, I can have a black, white, blue gi, but I would always have my purple belt. So you would always know my rank. No gi, a little different. You wouldn't really know somebody's rank until you rolled with them and you found out pretty much.
I think it depends on how proud you are, right? If you're like a blue belt, like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna rock some blue, But I don't think I have a purple. I always rock black, white.
I'm going through a bunch of
my favorite colors, black and white.
I'm going through a bunch of a rash guard phase now that I'm getting into it. So I keep every rash guard I see, and I'm like, yo, I gotta buy this. I just bought a pip, it's one of raise money for pit bulls awareness. So I have it, and it looks like my dog. So I'm like, yo, I gotta get this one. Now I'm getting a bunch of them left and right. So I gotta calm down because they're expensive.
Dude,
Ryan's never gonna financially recover from this.
You're gonna look back and you're gonna have all your rash guards, and you're just gonna give them to people.
Now that you got a wife, just gonna look at that bank account.
Yo, Tran.
What's up, man?
Let it go.
Okay. I'm just warning you,
She's not like your exes.
You're right. Fair game. Fair enough.
Alrighty, so we're gonna start the card, and we're gonna talk about Ryan Ferguson versus Mike Shishelli. I'm sorry, Mike Shishelli, if I'm not pronouncing your last name right. I apologize. Ryan Ferguson is a brown belt out of Natos. I went on his Instagram. I haven't really seen him compete a lot. I don't really know much about him. From what I can tell, he competes a lot. Competes at tap cancer, top level, all of them.
Nice.
He's going to be going against Mike Shisheli, who's another brown belt, who he's a brown belt, got his brown belt June 19th, and he owns Shisheli Mixed Martial Art and Fitness. From what I can see from his Instagram, he doesn't really post a lot of his matches and content, but he looks like he's a MMA grappling coach. He posts a lot about his students and stuff. They both seem like really nice guys, really funny. Ryan Ferguson has a reverse mohawk, so the outside is puffed and the inside is...
I do like it.
Nice.
They're going to be doing a 15-minute EBI match.
15 minutes, EBI.
So, Trent, do you want to explain what EBI matches are?
Oh, not really.
Hey, honest.
Oh, man. Boy. Now, go ahead, Daniel. We can talk about it. I'll fill in if we need to. But,
okay, so an EBI match means that... I assume this is what it means from what they're posting, but an EBI match means that for 15 minutes, there's no points allowed and submissions are all legal. So usually in a match, you would have points for things that you do. So if I took Ryan down in a match, I'd get 2 points for that. Whoever had the most points at the end of the match would win.
2 points.
Or we can do a ref decision, which means that whoever is looking the best throughout the match, at the end of it, a ref would come and decide who he thought won that match. EBI, it's sub only. It means you can only win by sub, and you can't lose by anything else but submission. If you lose, you go into overtime rounds. When you go into overtime rounds, you either end up in an armbar position called spider web, or you end up with somebody taking your back. If you get out, that person that got out, if you get out, you therefore go on the offensive, and you can either choose to take the person's back or get him a spider web. If I tap you, so say Ryan and me are doing EBI rounds. Ryan takes my back, I get out. I take Ryan's back, I submit him, I win.
And they're all timed, too.
You get 2 minutes each round. Or Ryan takes my back, I get out. I take Ryan's back, he gets out. There we go to another round. So it's pretty much the best way
Until someone taps out.
The best way I can describe it is like a field goal. If you ever watch football, I get to shoot a field goal. If I miss, you get the ball back. If you go downfield and I stop you, you get to shoot a field goal. If you miss, I get the ball back. I go down, I shoot a field goal, I make it, you get your chance to shoot a field goal. If you miss, I win. If you make it, we keep going. But you only have 3 rounds of overtime. So at the end of the 3rd round, if we both didn't get submissions, we go fastest escape. So we take all the time together and sees who had more control throughout the whole match. So if you got out on my back takes, but it took you 6 minutes or 5 minutes and 58 seconds, and it took me 4 minutes to get out, I win because I did it faster than you. So that's what EBI matches mean. So they're going all subs, EBI OT rounds. That's why in 10 Planet Style, we do positional sparring with taking the back and having spider web, because our founder made these rules. And how bad would it look if we sucked at spider web in the back, right?
I like those rules, EBI rules.
Yeah,
this is my favorite.
It's exciting sometimes, man. But sometimes guys stall out and try to get to overtime round and then see who can get out the fastest. So
you stallers. Yeah,
it could be hit or miss. But this seems like a good one. Both guys seem really cool. Really cool. Like I said, I don't know any of them, but if they're on top, if they're on Enigma, that means they're legit. I think that Ryan Ferguson has competed for Enigma before.
Yeah, could be newcomers, you know.
Oh yeah, they. If you guys are thinking about it, they have a link on their Instagram. You can submit an application to try to get on their card.
What's the link? Enigma.
I don't know the link to that, but I know their handle is Enigma Jiu Jitsu Official.
There you go. You can find them on Instagram too.
That is their Instagram handle, Jan.
Jeez, I'm slow. Let me have my coffee.
Hell, listen, man. Social media. We need your son out here. Teach us.
All right.
All right. Second match, we have Zach McCullier versus Chris Shigoli. Again, if I butcher your last name, I apologize. Chris Shigoli is actually a 10th Planet brown belt in Long Island. He's a brown belt under Steve Caston, and this guy competes a lot. He competes a lot. He looks very exciting. He does it all. He did the Enigma Combat Jiu-Jitsu. He did Emerald City, Sogi. Wow. I think he helps run Sogi because I think the 10 Planet guys are a part of that.
Oh, shit.
Because I've seen in some of his things he was reffing in and stuff like that. So, again, another 10 Planet guy. Seems pretty cool. He's going against some kid named Zach McCullier, who's a blue belt out of BTT. And this kid, there's not much to know. Wasn't much to find out on his Instagram and stuff like that. Again, I haven't seen him compete, but He won the IBJJF no-gi championships at blue belt this year, and he took third in the gi.
Wow.
Yeah, his teammate actually, Zach McCullier, teammate actually DM'd me and said that this kid's going places and he's a beast. So that looks like it's probably going to be a banger. It's going to be a good one. Again,
Definitely watch that one.
they're doing a 15-minute EBI match. Kudos to this Zach kid. He's going against a brown belt as a blue belt, so he must be good. He must be good. Again, belts and no-gi don't really matter. You know, a lot of guys are mixed matching here and there. We talked about this last week, Tran. Next match, we got Rory Connors versus Joshua Richards. Rory Connors is a purple belt out of Connors MMA. I've seen this kid compete a lot. This Rory Connors kid is good. He is really good.
Savage kid.
He's a savage, bro. He competes a lot. He actually just won a decision against Kurt at WCG August 2nd.
And Kurt is a savage, too.
Bro, Kurt is a savage savage purple.
Black belt.
Oh, my God. Why am I saying blue, purple? Next, I'm going to say brown.
Belts don't matter, right?
Yeah,
Come on.
No. He's a savage
No, he's a black belt.
Yeah, he's a legit black belt guy. No, he's a first-degree black belt, I believe. Yeah, he's a black belt at 10 Planet Fairfield /Radius. And I've rode with him. I've trained with him. Dude is nasty, bro. He's got a good game.
He had a super fight, too. His last Kurt had a super fight.
At top level.
Top level. And beat the guy that beat me in literally 10 seconds.
Yeah, Tran went like 10 minutes with this dude, right?
Yeah, Jesus. The longest 10 minutes ever.
Yeah. Tran went 10 minutes and
I'm an old guy.
And Kurt got him. What was he, 34, 35?
Who, Kurt? Or?
No, the guy you went against.
He's 31. No, 32. Yeah.
32, I thought he was older.
Yeah. He slid in my DMs. We exchanged our ages.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did he tell you he was going to be 4 pounds heavier?
No, but he told me he was going to be 5 or 6.
Oh, mother lover. Oh, my goodness gracious. How he was overweight that bad?
He was, yeah. He was 5 pounds overweight. And I came in right on a dot like a professional.
Yeah, man. You should definitely get that rematch. Yeah. Anyways, I digress. He's going against this kid named Joshua Richards, who's another 10 Planet guy, a blue belt out of 10 Planet NYC under Ray DeLeon. This kid looks good, man. Nice. This kid is 20 years old. Oof. 20 years old, looks good.
Young stud.
Just had a match at Emerald City. Won in overtime by armbar. So, and this match is gonna be a 15-minute EBI match.
Nice.
So it's gonna be a good one, man. I'd say I was going through this kid's stuff. He doesn't seem like he's been training super long, but he was doing Naga Expert at white belt and was running it. So it's gonna be a good kid. This kid's gonna look out for this Joshua Richards kid, man. When I first saw him post a video, he was doing like you know what an omoplata is? It's a shoulder lock with your legs.
Yep.
He was doing like a version of that, but from like mount. So like he had the guy mounted and like took the arm and like rolled through and did this dope. Yeah, I think he was doing that. He was doing that like at white belt. Like these
wild
kids,
man.
These kids are going. These kids are getting good fast, man. These kids are getting good.
I know. Gee, these 20-year-olds.
20 years old, man.
Wow.
Imagine all he probably has to do is train. Dude,
the recovery is like unreal. You know, they can probably go drinking over like that night, then go freaking.
Not that you guys should at 20.
Oh yeah. Don't do that. This is coming from law enforcement. Don't drink.
Ryan will find you, and he will get you.
He'll put you on a knee on belly.
I
Watch out.
I thought you said he was 21.
Oh yeah. Don't know for sure. Don't know. Probably gonna turn 21. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, next match. This is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a banger. We got Shanyati Marcos, who's a 22-year-old brown belt out of Sarah BJJ. He's also the owner of Immortal Jiu Jitsu. He's going to be going against our boy Placido Santos.
Ooh, Placido Santos.
Purple belt under John Danaher. Dude.
Ooh, that's going to be a good match.
I can't wait for you to train with Placido, bro. This dude. He's so good at Jiu Jitsu, bro. He's so good, man.
And he's a good instructor too. Like if you ever ask him questions, he's another level as far as teaching wise. So.
Bro, we rode together the tournaments, and we just watched him wreck black belts at just going in. Bigger guys, doesn't matter, man. This guy is nasty at jiu-jitsu. He makes me seem like I don't train. Ooh, bro, we went to New York City, just me and him. Trained at New York City. Drove back. When we got back to his house, he's like, "Yo, I still want to keep training." He's like, "Yo, just come inside. Let's just drill for like another 30, 40 minutes."
We're fucking tired,
bro.
I just want to sleep. You want
drill? Only like $160. He's good, man. He's Placido's good. Anybody that's roll with him, bro, he rolls mean.
So, a question before we move on.
Yeah.
So these matches, it's weight too, right? So you got to be in the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I'm sorry, not to interrupt you. For the first 4 matches that we talked about, they never put their weight.
Okay.
So I don't know what weight classes.
But they will be like the same. They will be the same weight. It's not gonna be like
one
50,
guy's not gonna be like 280 versus fucking 150.
Okay.
You know.
I don't know if they're doing it like MMA, matches. Like one guy, like you're doing welterweight. I think for their championship matches, there's a definitive weight because it's for a belt. But I assume that they're doing the same guidelines with all their other matches.
All right.
So I would assume like that Chris Shigoli or Zach Mark Hillier, looking at them, they're probably like $180, maybe 170, 180, 185. I know Placido Santos is like 160, 170.
Yeah, he's like 170 somewhere out there.
He'll take matches against guys bigger though. So he's
savage.
He's mean with it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
One time we were rolling, and he busted my nose.
It's a funny story, guys. Listen.
I'm gushing blood. What train were they not going to listen?
Nope, nah, I'm going to shut this off. I don't want to hear this story.
Bro, if anybody's roll with me, bro, they know that I like let's go. I'm down with all that shit. But he busted my nose and I'm gushing blood. And he's like, yo, keep rolling through. And he's like, yo, keep rolling through. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And we're at like 11-minute mark, bro. And the blood's just in my nose. And I'm like, bro, I got to stop. He's like, you got to stop. I'm like, dude, I can't breathe out of my nose. Not only are you beating me up and I'm tired, I can't breathe.
So wait, how did he elbow you, or just like how did the bloody nose start? Like, just something.
Yeah,
it wasn't on purpose, but like there was some sort of.
I was like, are you mad at me?
I used the freak accident.
Dude, he wrecked me, dude. Alrighty, moving on to the next match. We got Frank Rosenthal versus Manny Vasquez. Manny Vasquez is a 10 Planet black belt, and he owns 10 Planet Greenville, South Carolina. He's an MMA fighter that seems like he puts a lot of emphasis on wrestling, who also competes a lot. Started at 14, got his black belt at 27.
Whoa.
Wow.
Going against Frank Rosenthal, who's a black belt in the Henzo Gracie Academy, I think Brooklyn. No, Bayside.
Bayside, yeah.
Trains with John Danaher. I've taken a seminar with Frank Rosenthal. He's fucking nasty, bro. He's good. He's really good. He's world class. Great teaching, great guy, really funny, really cool. That's going to be a really good match. I would assume this is for their featherweight championship as well. So this is going to be a banger of a match.
Probably like 145 somewhere out there. I think.
Dude, featherweight matchup is 145, bro.
Yeah, I knew it. See, just confirming.
Okay.
Yeah. He's doing it for me because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Really
he's got my back.
Really quick,
and for the listeners too, I'm watching out for you guys.
Yeah, really quick.
You're
Trent,
welcome.
I just said it was for one. Trent, you rode with Frank before, right?
I did.
Good match, good roll.
Oh man, it was awesome. It was a good roll for sure. He just fucking wrecked me, but it was a good experience. Absolutely. Of course, right in front of John.
Yeah, those guys are nasty. Those guys train great. Moving on, we got Nick Ortiz versus Mike Navarrete, and that's for the lightweight belt. Nick Ortiz, this is not for the first two, Frank Rosenthal versus Manny Vasquez is for the inaugural featherweight belt. Nobody's the champ. Sean Melanson versus PJ Barch is for the inaugural welterweight. Nobody's the champ. This matchup, Nick Ortiz is the champ. He's defending his belt against Mike Navarrete.
Yeah.
Nick Ortiz is a purple belt out of John Danaher. He actually won the belt against this kid named Alex West, who we've trained with.
Yes.
Cool kid. He rolls with Placido. He rolls with Team Flow.
Team Flow.
He's really cool. He's on. If you look at the BJJ Fanatics, he's one of the Ukis that work for them.
Yep.
He's going against this kid named Mike Navarrete, who's a purple belt out of Sarah BJJ. Mike Navarrete actually had to compete in a tournament to get to the number one contendership. So Enigma did a 155 lightweight tournament, and he won it, going 3-0. Nice. 2 of his wins was by sub, 1 was by ride time. So he won $1,000 in the number one contendership
cash money
spot. So that should be a good one. Nick Ortiz, famous for talk that shit. Cool guy. We've actually had lunch with him.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, leg locker.
Yeah, he is a leg locker for sure. He attacks the legs. But he mixes it up too.
Yeah, they all do, man. Those guys are all so good.
You kind of have to nowadays.
I don't know much about this Mike Navarrete. I know they call him Queen Mike. He's with the 4 stringers. His handle is Queen Jits. Savage, bro. He's a savage. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Sean Melanson versus PJ Barch, which is going to be a fucking
fire
banger, bro. Sean Melanson is a brown belt out of Team Flow, and he's the 185 Enigma middleweight champion. So he's probably trying to 2-belt it up. This kid is good. Sean Melanson is he's legit.
Huh?
Yeah, man, he's legit. I know people that roll with him, seen him at tournaments, all that stuff, man. He's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
But he's going against PJ motherfucking Barch. Oof. They call PJ Barch the Butter Panther. Everyone that's listening, 10th Planet Springfield will be having PJ Barch here out for a seminar that weekend. If you do not know enough about PJ Barch, look up his highlights, go on his Instagram, look at his matches, man. He is exciting. He is one of the best 10th Planet guys out there. And this is a seminar you don't want to miss.
Yeah, I like his style. He doesn't just do the traditional rubber guard. He mixes up with some wrestling.
Well, he was a collegiate wrestler.
Yeah, but he adds it in to his jiu-jitsu, you know.
Oh yeah, but he's great. He's got a great guard too. He's got good inversions. I heard he has killer arm bars. Pat's rode in the same gym with him and said that he's tuking guys up like good guys, man. He's nasty. I think he's only like 32.
Guy.
Yeah, man. He's a 10th Planet black belt out of San Diego. He's promoted by Boogie, Richie Martinez. Richie Martinez is nice. And
his seminar's the next day, right? Next day after? November 20th, I think it is.
Is it the next day or the day before?
Let me see real quick.
Yeah. PJ Barch is good, Ryan.
Sorry, PJ.
You never been to a seminar, right?
Nope, never been to any seminar.
So seminars are fun. There are a lot of information. I would recommend recording the technique after he leaves the class, just for yourself. Don't, obviously, don't put out people's content, what they teach, because guys, that's their livelihood, man. Mm-hmm. But record it for yourself and run it back. He's really good, man. He's good. This is for, like I said, the welterweight championship. So it's $170, 170 pounds for people listening, and that's a big deal for Enigma to get a guy like that, man. That's a big name,
top level.
Dude, they gotta. I don't know if they're flying him out. I don't know what they're doing, but to get that guy to come out here from California, this guy is like 80cc champion. Like not 80cc champion. He's 80cc material. Like he will be competing in 80cc one day.
You can definitely hang with the best,
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. It's only a matter of time before he gets on 80cc and puts in work, man. He's competed against some of the best guys, and
he's got that style too.
If you want to see PJ Barch at, I don't know if I could say see him at his best, but he competed at Emerald City at the 170 tournament, and he went 4 for 4 with all submissions. Or 5. No, he had 4 matches, all submission wins. He beat guys like John Combs, Alan Sanchez.
He was on fire that night.
Dude, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. He was beating world-class guys, but quick. So definitely look him up. This is a stat card, man. I know we're kind of like going through it. We're going through it fast, but again, the card is in November 19th. So we're just trying to shed some awareness on this card, and we're definitely going to talk about it way more as it approaches in other matchups. And, of course, unfortunately, this is a contact sport. We're probably going to have matches canceled and stuff like that because of injury. But pray to the jiu-jitsu gods that this card stays intact because it's going to be fire, man.
It's fire matches, man.
Right, Trent?
I can't wait.
I'm going.
I'm definitely going for sure.
Well, actually, I applied to try to get on this card.
You did.
Dude, if I could get on this card, what? I'll take any matchup, bro, even if I lose. This is a stacked card, man. Yeah, it'll be dope. But if not, card. I'm definitely going to go there and I'm going to cover it. And I would love to have up-and-coming competitors come on and talk to us because that would be dope, man. So that's our quick recap of Enigma. Again, we're going to re-go through it as Enigma approaches, talk more about it. We just want to shed some insight because this is a great promotion. It's up-and-coming. And I just want to throw it out there that we're hey, Enigma, we're fans. We're watching, we're interested, and we're going to talk about you, So any competitors that are listening to this, want to hop on the podcast, promote your matchup, anything that you got coming on, feel free to hit us up, okay?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
So that's the podcast, guys.
Hell yeah.
That was a great episode.
Yes, sir.
Again, guys, please, if you can, like, subscribe, leave a comment. You can go to jujitsu.lifting.life episode 1 or 2 or even 3 if this comes out. We will respond back. We'll hit you up. Again, if you want to go onto my personal Instagram, it's at Mr. Fantastic GNS 10P. I will always have the current episode on my bio, and I will also have a post talking about it. Tran, any final words before we end this, baby?
Oh, man, if you guys made it this far, I hope I get some better feedback. I start talking a little more and a little louder. So I hope that it was informative with everything that we talked about. And thank you for listening.
Ryan.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say. You guys pretty much said everything. Just if you want to give me a follow, it's RP Bartlett 14 on Instagram. That's pretty much all I have for social media, and that's pretty much it.
Again, guys, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for liking. Thank you for listening. If you have any feedback, any DMs, if you just want to be a fan and just like our stuff, man, we greatly appreciate it. We love you all, and we're out.
Peace.
See ya.